Welcome. Happy Friday, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO, Patriot Trading Group. And it is Friday, and that means, yes, Fake News Friday is going to be coming up in the next segment. You don't want to miss that. You're going to see, I don't know how many, it is multiple weeks in a row where I have been the champion. And I will continue to be, hopefully, on this week's edition. That's going to come up in the next segment. We got a lot of stuff going on. I got a busy day. I got my younger son playing high school football. Then we're going to get on a plane, take the red eye to Chicago to watch my older son play football. And I've started reading all these crazy things about what's been going on in the airplanes. Listen, I don't want any trouble. Everybody just keep in your seats. Don't even go to the bathroom. Don't keep your pants on. No lap dancing. I want to get to this game, so I don't know what is going on. All these crazy things. So every morning I'm here pretty early, and I'm getting ready to do the news, and I'm going through and I'm looking for things, and I see this headline, and it says West Virginia meteorologist accused of fracturing the anchor's skull in a fight. Yeah, I'm like, what? What happened? The anchor got mad because the meteorologist said it was going to rain and it didn't, or vice versa. And of course, my brother works for a large communications company, and he happens to live in West Virginia. And I started reading it. And I'm like, hey, that's the station he used to run. Now he's oversees a bunch of them. And so I took a picture of the article, and I texted it to him. I'm like, is that your old station? Sure enough, it was. The 26-year-old weather girl, apparently unhappy with the anchor. They had a fight right there in the studio, and she cracked the skull of the anchor. My brother would refuse to comment on the reasons why, but I just thought I'd mention that. It's a small world. Everybody is lost. Everyone's going nuts. Everybody's fighting everybody. Everybody's doing dumb stuff. It's I don't know. The world has gone completely mad. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. Wealth insurance is what we do. I'd actually probably watch. I stopped watching the news because nothing they say is really honest anyway. But if they're going to have the weather girl fighting the anchor, hey, I might start tuning in. I'm just saying, maybe they're on to something over there. I don't know. No word as to whether that was actually live on the air. Wouldn't that be something? You're sitting down, you just had a hard day at work, you turn on the local news, and they're going at it like it's the Jerry Springer show? I mean, might as well. because the news they tell it could go on Springer. The website at allamericanggold.com. I'm going to say this. I know we got a break coming up that we're going to do Fake News Friday. The Dow's down about 100 points. We're waiting on the Canadians. Yeah, the Canadians to say yes to the free trade agreement. I guess I shouldn't even call it that. I'm not sure what the president is going to call it. I don't know if that'll happen today or not. But it's going to be soon, which will probably give another lift to gold. Gold is higher this morning. But then again, not a huge deal, right? When we found out what they signed with Mexico, right, all the tariffs the steel and aluminum tariffs still in place. And it had more to do with cars than anything else, and how much of the car needs to be made by a person making X amount of dollars. So I don't see too big of an issue with the Canadians signing on to it. The president did threaten again today that as early as next week, things are going to heat up, as early as next week, he may start imposing the next $200 billion in tariffs against the Chinese, and all these currencies blowing up. Italian bond yields blowing up again today. More trouble there. They made a bunch of threats against Germany, saying, hey, Germany's got too much power with the euro, and we're going to threaten to leave. The Argentine peso hit an all-time record low, and that's saying something because I can't believe it's an all-time. I think didn't that currency go bust a couple of different times? And again, you want a poster child for why we should disband the IMF. Argentina's it. They've been involved in Argentina for 40 years. They go broke like all the time. Their peso fell out of bed. The South African rand went. Then we had Brazil and India, right? And it's just spreading like wildfire. All of these unintended consequences. But don't worry, somehow it's going to be okay. I don't think so. Remember why this all started. Not forget, this was a debt problem, plain and simple. And how did they try to fix it? They manipulated the price of the debt, right, by bringing interest rates to zero. A lot of places they were negative, right? Remember negative rates? And now that they're saying they're trying to normalize. They're not going to get anywhere close to normal, but they're trying to quote unquote normalize. And now we're starting to see all of these other countries starting to have issues, and it's starting to spread. And then, of course, really ultimately what happens is as this thing spreads to more and more countries and bigger countries, it eventually gets where? Back to where the problem started. 800-951-0592. We got Jason coming on board. Fake News Friday coming up next.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the others? Before I finish my song.
From News Headquarters, this is
Fake
News
Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
What is real? How do you define real?
Fake News Friday.
Fake.
I love it. Fake News Friday. You know, I'm going to say this. Jason, are you there?
I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go? Ramon's here. I'm going to say that, I was an expert at the which one of these doesn't belong game when I was growing up. The Sesame Street, they had the four squares and one of them didn't belong. Yeah, I was good at it. I'm just telling you.
That's revealing. So
yeah,
exactly.
That's probably why I win all the time.
Absolutely.
So now Glenn is back teaching. So what he has done is Glenn has put these questions together, and he sent them to Ramon.
Mm-hmm.
Ramon has put them in a secret vault. And we have not, Ramon, you have not shared these with anybody, correct?
I have not. I actually offered them to you because you were the boss and you wanted to win.
You did offer them. What did I say, though?
You said, nay, sir, nay.
No, absolutely not. I'm going to win anyway.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, I'm ready. Jason, you ready?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see
right.
how this goes today.
Let's go.
All right.
Ramon. Hit it.
Here we go. Story number one. Former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin, who was, of course, Senator John McCain's running mate in 2018, has been excluded from his funeral. It has been confirmed that Palin was not sent an invitation and was told to stay away from the ceremony. It is speculated that it is the behest of the family. Okay, that's story number one. Story number two. The basic school for Marine officers is reeling from a cheating scandal that involved 6 second lieutenants accused of wrongfully obtaining and sharing key grid points for the night land navigation course, which was to be taught via text message. Before the test and later relying on those text messages to find hidden boxes stashed across wooden Nightland navigation courses in Quantico, Virginia. All right, got that one? That's story number 2. Story number 3, the producers of the AK-47. Today was a good day. I didn't have to use my AK. Unveiled an electric concept vehicle on Thursday at the Russian arms show called Army 2018. The company said in a statement that the CV-1 can travel as far as 217 miles on a single charge and can accelerate from 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. And the CV-1 will allow it to compete with the electric car makers such as Tesla. The price of the car is not known or whether it will even be in production at this point. Now, Elon Musk downplayed the news of the Russian electric car by saying, would you trust a car made by the same people who make cheap vodka and deadly assault rifles? All right, those are your 3 stories. Shall we let the guests go first this time, Jason? Let's let Jason go.
All right, Jason, you go first.
I'll go first. I really think the second 2 stories are really believable, even though I could see John McCain not wanting Sarah Palin at the funeral or the family. I just think there's too much of a politically correct world to just tell someone not to show up. So I think the first one is the fake news.
All right.
I don't agree with Elon Musk very often, but I don't understand if you're making an AK-47, how you could then produce an electric vehicle. I'm going to say the Russian AK-47 is the fake story.
So let's see. You have story number 3. So what you're saying is that a car company could not make a vehicle that could be destructive and cause all kinds of havoc, correct?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
yeah,
well then apparently you forgot Ford made the Pinto that would explode. So, all right, here we go.
Well played.
Here we go. The fake story is correct. Joe, story number 3. Everything is.
How you doing?
How you
doing, Jason?
Now here's the twist. Here's the little M. Night Shyamalan that Glenn seems to put on these stories. Everything is correct up until the point where the Elon Musk quote is. But apparently, the folks who make the AK-47 are going to make an electric. Well, they're hoping. They're thinking about it.
I see. I wonder if it'll come with its own weapons.
That'd be cool.
That may be interesting.
What do you think, Jason?
That's interesting. I wonder if they'll have some way of banning the car if it's because it's connected to a gun company.
I'm sure that we'll slap some tariffs on it, if nothing else.
That would be Russian collusion, though, wouldn't that be?
Oh.
All right, here we go. Round 2. You ready, gentlemen?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Story number 1 for round 2. Let's see here. Bella Thurston, a 13-year-old girl, was undergoing chemotherapy treatment, and she was humiliated at her school picture day by the photographer when he told her to take her hat off that she was using to hide her hair loss. Bella told the local news, it was just really humiliating and upsetting for me. I was trying really hard not to cry. It was just not a good experience. Okay, that's story number 1. Story number 2, this one's a little bit longer. An autonomous robot named Kiko has been a hit in several Chinese kindergartens, telling stories and challenging children with logic problems. The robot zips around on little tiny wheels and in cameras built in, doubling both as navigational sensors and front-facing cameras, allowing the users to record video journals. An example of a lesson is the children are asked to help a prince find the way through a desert by putting together square mats that represent a path taken by the robot. It's part storytelling and part problem solving. Each time they get the answer right, the device reacts with delight and its face lights up with heart-shaped eyes, much like Joe when he gets all of these questions right. The Chinese government is preparing to export the robots to third world nations in order to spread harmonious Chinese culture, but some countries are worried about the robots, that they might be loaded with spyware that will infiltrate local infrastructure like power grids and spy on private businesses for a trade secret. Okay, so that's story number 2. Long one, but that is story number 2 about the robot. Story number 3. After reportedly receiving requests from people in Texas and Oklahoma, Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos is considering whether states might be permitted to use federal education grants to buy firearms for teachers and the training to efficiently use those firearms. Not surprisingly, Democrats and other proponents of the federally managed education system, they were not able to explain how fewer guns, not more guns, will somehow make schools safer from an armed madman. So, there we go. That is story number 3. Betsy DeVos thinking about using some government money to get guns for the schools. So, let's go with Joe first this time, shall we?
I'm going to tell you, I'm not sure about this one because I don't actually know any 3 of these stories. But I did like in the third one about how the Democrats couldn't explain how less guns was somehow going to prevent a madman. So I think that's true.
Okay.
The first story is just so sad that I can't believe that Glenn would make it be fake. And what was the name of the Chinese robot?
Kiko.
Wasn't that the name of the gorilla that used to do sign language?
That was Coco.
Oh, that's Coco.
How dare you, sir? Did you not watch Seinfeld?
No, I didn't know. I'm thinking one of the reasons why I thought that's going to be the fake. I'm going with that one. I'm going with the Chinese robot. I don't know why. I thought it was Coco and Kiko, so I'm going with that one. All
right, story number 2, Kiko the robot. All right, Jason.
Okay, I think I got this one. I know the first story is true. I actually read that story, so I know the first one's true. The second story, I believe, is true because anytime governments are buying or selling or anything that's a surveillance tool, because that's what I look at this robot. This looks like a way of spying on schools and school children and anything else around it. The government loves to spy on everything. That's got to be true. The third story, I think, is fake because I believe the government, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, but once again, it's another government control thing. They don't want weapons in anyone's hands. Even Betsy DeVos is probably not ballsy enough to propose guns in the classrooms from a federal standpoint. They want the guns gone. That's going to be the fake story.
All right, you pick story number 3. And shocking once again, Joe gets the story correct. Story number 2 is the fake story.
Man, I've struck out.
Well,
again, what can I tell you? I don't know. I did not see any of these, but my power of being able to sniff out the BS is amazing.
Sherlock Jaquint over there. The story number 1, that's awful.
Well,
My goodness.
I could see that happening, right? If the photographer didn't know, but then what did he do? Once he realized what was happening, he didn't say, "Oh, I'm sorry, put it back on." We'll handle it.
I read the story. So basically, what happened was there's a protocol for these pictures in school, and the photographer was just going by the rule book. And it's like, you just got to take your hat off. You can't. The rule book says you take the hat off. You got to do it. And so
See, this is what happened. Common sense has literally left the building, right? And everybody is so literal now with all of these things. It's incredible. I don't know what happened. But as far as I'm concerned, that guy doesn't need to have that job.
Well, anymore. The school should have informed him too, though, don't you think?
What's that?
The school should have informed him as well ahead of time.
You're right. You would almost think that somebody would have wait a minute. That's little Susie. She's got something going on. Let's go ahead. It's not shocking, right? And this is why people are just so frustrated with everything out there because people are idiots. They really are. Nobody's allowed to think anymore. Nobody's allowed to use common sense anymore, and this is what you get.
Now, story number 2 was qualified as the fake story, but everything was true up until the point where they were going to be exporting the robots. But everything else is true. They have a teacher robot over there.
Well, you know what? Okay. I did read this. Do you know that now over the majority of your money now is controlled by robots? From 401ks to your IRAs to your bank accounts and all that stuff, the majority of trading that happens to have your money in it is now handled by robots. There's no human intervention whatsoever.
That makes total sense. 97% of our Federal Reserve notes are all digital anyways. We only have 3% of it in actual paper. So it just makes complete sense that it's all controlled by robots now.
You know, it's so funny you bring that up. You remember the big push for getting rid of these large denominated bills out of circulation because all the evildoers out there? So India just reported yesterday that because they took out their 2 largest denominated bills because, you know, the black market and all this illegal and nefarious activities. And come to find out, you know what they found out? Is, wow, there's hardly any of, I don't know, like anything, there's a little bit of that. But the vast majority of people that were holding these large denomination of bills were rich people that were putting it at their house just in case things went crazy. They had some cash. Go figure. Patriot Radio News Hour, halftime on a Friday. We'll be right back.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily broadcast delivering a conservative pro-family perspective since 1983. As an author, speaker, and the founder of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Mrs. Schlafly spent an astounding 70 years in public service, protecting and defending the Constitution, the unborn, and America's sovereignty. Following that legacy, here's the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
Liberals have a long history of denying facts and silencing opposition, particularly when it comes from within their own ranks. Liberal academia is particularly guilty of this and also very touchy on the subject of discussing the 2 unique biological sexes. If even moderate or liberal professors step out of line on this message, they're suspended, fired, ridiculed, or shunned into obscurity by their Marxist peers. But we can take hope. There are still those in academia, even left of center, that are willing to be intellectually honest. University of Washington, Seattle professor Stuart Regis recently wrote an essay arguing that women are less likely to pursue computer science degrees due more to career preferences and gender differences than to patriarchal oppression. Now, Professor Regis is by no means taking up the banner of conservatism. He has a long career full of fighting to get more women interested in programming and computer sciences and upping their percentages there. He admits that he would love to see a 50-50 gender split in STEM fields. But the dogmatic left are unwilling to even entertain his reasoning that maybe women just don't want to go into computer sciences. We made a lot of progress in trying to get more women in programming, Regis said. But we've kind of stalled. I feel that this insistence we get to 50-50 men to women, and that until we've reached 50-50 there must be oppression, I think that's a very dangerous idea to have. I gave my honest opinion that I think it's not going to happen. What Professor Regis also finds unfortunate is those who have demanded he be silenced because of his essay. That's another aspect of this. People said you shouldn't give me a platform. People aren't supposed to say what I'm saying. That's a dangerous thing when people aren't allowed to discuss something openly. Here at Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, we're encouraged to see those who are left of center stand up to the progressive messaging machine. The left does not tolerate dissent in their ranks, and it's high time that those who are willing to consider intellectual honesty and open discussion return to having a say in academia.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. Political correctness is no longer simply about restricting speech. This tool for tyranny has led to employees being fired, pastors silenced, small businesses closed, and truth suppressed. Thankfully, the politically correct can't censor the work at phyllisschlafly.com. Join us, won't you? At phyllisschlafly.com. And thanks for listening to the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Welcome back, Patriot Radio News Hour on this Friday. I got a couple of announcements. I guess I should have done this earlier. Monday is the holiday, so we're celebrating Labor Day, right? Right, Ramon? It's Labor Day, right?
Correct.
I wanted to make sure.
He gets all the stories right, but he gets the holidays wrong.
Right, exactly. And we're going to be closed Monday, and so you'll hear Fake News Friday again on Monday. So one of the things that we're going to do today is we are going to do an item that we sell a lot of it, but we've never sold it at this price because I want to help you enjoy your holiday by knowing that you bought at the cheapest price that at least that I've ever done. This is in junk silver. It came about in the afternoon, mid-afternoon yesterday. So this was something that was unexpected. There was an opportunity to buy multiple bags of junk silver, and we took advantage of it. We bought them all. We actually started selling them yesterday in our afternoon show in Colorado. So we've already sold through half of it. So we had here's what we're going to do. We're trying to keep it simple. We're going to sell these in quarter bags. Okay, so a full bag of junk is $1,000 face value. The bags are dimes and quarters. Okay, so we have we had 2 bags of quarters and 1 bag of dimes. So that had been 10,000 dimes, 4,000 quarters. A full bag is 715 ounces of silver. So if you took the $1,000 face, took a blowtorch to it, you'd have 715 ounces of silver. Now, of course, starting in 1965, the government started putting a lot less silver in the coin, and by 1969, they stopped putting any silver in coins. And the coins that had silver in them were the dimes, the quarters, and the half dollars. Today's special is just for the quarters and the dimes. We're going to sell these in what we call quarter bags. Okay, so you're going to get 1,000 quarters, or you're going to get 2,500 dimes in your bag, or 178.75 ounces of silver. In other words, if you took a blowtorch, that's the melt of it. What makes it in the buy of the year as far as silver goes is the price. We're going to be at $2,800. $2,800 for just a pinch under 179 ounces of silver. That puts the price at $15.66 an ounce. Silver right now is like $14.50. So let's just between $1.10 and $1.20 as silver is fluctuating here. $1.10 to $1.20 over spot. I go crazy when we get junk silver at $2 or less. We've never run it this close to spot that I know of. In normal times, this would be, cost or below. But today we've got quarter bags of quarters and half dollars. They're $2,800. We've got 5 bags of quarters, 3 bags of dimes at this price. They're in Colorado. I actually have some here. I've got a bag of quarters here and 2 bags of dimes here. The rest of it's in Colorado. So if you want to take advantage of that, here's the thing that I like too. This Canadian Free Trade Agreement was supposed to happen this morning. And early this morning, gold was up $7 or $8. Silver was up 20-something cents. The Canadians did say, hey, we're not quite there yet. I've got a feeling, and put it this way, it's going to happen. Canada's going to sign it. They're going to sign it, whether they sign it later today or they sign it over the weekend. I don't see this by this time next week. I see this as being done. And we know by what happened when Mexico signed. Remember, gold broke back above 1,200. Silver rallied. I think we're going to see the same thing again. So this could be something where, because of some nuances here, you could be buying it. There's a good chance by this time next week we could see silver approaching that $15 mark again. So we've got a lot of incentive, a lot of good reasons to put it away. We know how undervalued silver is. I talk about it all the time. And this is a price never have we been down here. Here was the funny thing. At least in this for the stuff in Colorado, these bags were sealed, and this was something they used to do in the 80s and the early 90s when they would take these bags and, like I said, $1,000 face. So you imagine a bag with 10,000 dimes or 4,000 quarters, and they would take this. I'll call some type of like a nylon type rope, for lack of a better word, and then they would have these silver clasps, and they would clasp it onto the bag, and so these bags are pretty old, which, I don't know, they most likely may have been picked through, but then again, maybe not. So you got that. We're not picking through it, right? I'm not doing that. We just count them out, put them in a bag. So we got quarter bags. They're $2,800. If you're in Phoenix and you want one, like I said, I've got one bag of quarters here, 2 bags of dimes here. You can come in and get them before the holiday if you want. Colorado, as you guys know, Jason's in and out there, but they are there as well in stock. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. And when you think about silver, you can't buy silver bars for $1 over. You can't buy silver rounds for $1 over. Then you think about you're buying government hallmark material, right? Think about like silver eagles. Even if we had back dates, which we don't, but even back dates, you're paying $3 over spot. A Canadian maple leaf, right? You're paying, even though it's a foreign, you're paying $3 over. You pay $3 to $4 over for government hallmark material. Here you're talking about, like I said, $1.10 to $1.20 over spot on government hallmark. This is U.S. pre-1965 dimes and quarters at 800-951-0592. This is one of those times where we got value, we got fractional, you got it all here. Take the time, put them away, enjoy the holiday. We'll be closed on Monday. We got 20 more minutes left. Patriot Radio News Hour. 800-951-0592. We got 2 lines open. Just stay on hold. Arlene will be with you when she's finished. She just finished. So now we got 3 lines open. These are the quarter bags of junk silver. The closest to spot that I've ever run. We're talking about somewhere between $1.10 and $1.20 over spot. Early this morning, it was less than $1 over spot. Which we're going to get when Canada signs that free. I'll call it a free trade agreement. I don't know what to call it. Whatever it's going to be. 800-951-0592. If you want to buy what's left, go ahead. Quarter bags of junk silver. We have some dimes. We have some quarters. We aren't going to mix them. I know, cause it's just too big of a pain in the butt to mix them. So you just specify whether you want the quarters or the dimes. If you want them all, whatever it may be, they're $2,800 a bag at 800-951-0592. And I know, hey, $2,800, that's a lot of money. I know a lot of you out there would love to be able to take advantage of that. But hey, that's just more than what you can do. Make sure you look into our metals plan. I know I've been talking about it this week. I don't talk about it enough because, listen, we all need to be ready. Everybody needs to have some. Am I telling you to put all your money into gold and silver? Of course not. You should be glad if your 401k is doing well. Be glad. But know that it's not going to last, and know that you need to have that wealth insurance in place. Our metals plan, which, today's the last day of August, so September, at the end of September, we'll be shipping out again our metals plan for as little as $100 a month. Right? You just put a card on file with us. You tell us what day of the month, from the 1st to the 28th, that you want us to hit your card. And like I said, the minimum's $100. You can do as much as you like. You want to do 100, 150, 200, 500, 2,000, whatever you'd like. At the end of the quarter, we make one mass buy. We take everybody's money. We pool it together. You are going to buy at the cheapest price at that on that day. You're going to get the volume discounted pricing, and we make 4 deliveries a year. So you get 4 shipments a year. There are no setup fees. Listen, we're not Wells Fargo, okay? There are no fees for anything, right? There's no setup fee. There's no cancellation fees, right? The only fee we charge shipping, but we're practical with it, right? If you're at $300, we're not going to charge you $35 for shipping. We also understand things happen. And I wish, maybe one of these days, maybe I'll put a comment section in our website so people can tell their stories. It happens all the time. Hey, you know what? Something came up, right? My wife had to go to the hospital. My kid broke his arm, or I needed new tires on my vehicle. Can you put my plan on hold? Yeah. What's that going to cost me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We've had people stop it and then call us back, and 3 months later they started again. We're there for you. Like I said, all the details. If you want to learn more about the program, go out to our website, go out to allamericangold.com, and you can see all the details about the plan on the website. It's right up at the top of the page. If you're on like a laptop or a computer, if you're on your phone, you got to go to the drop-down menu. It just simply says Metals Program. Right up along the top there, above where the gold and silver prices are. You just click on that, and you got all the details there. If you have any other questions, obviously, give us a call here, and we'll answer them for you. It's a great plan. It's one of those things, like if you want to sign up in September, get an extra month for the next delivery here at the end of the year, great time to do that as well at 800-951-0592. That is the toll-free number, and you can get all the details about the metals program from there, or you can just give us a call, and we will fill it all in. We'll fill in all the blanks for you, help you out on that. Did you see this? In California, they were trying to boycott In-N-Out Burger, and I guess they were upset because In-N-Out Burger donated to the Republican Party. And apparently I just read that it's not working out so well, that apparently even Democrats love In-N-Out Burger so much that they're still going to eat there. But I got news for people. Most of us small business owners, and not that necessarily In-N-Out's a small business anymore, are Republicans. Just saying. So good luck in your boycotting of everything. If you wanted to boycott everybody that gave to the Republican Party, there'd probably not be too many things left to do out there. The company donated $30,000 to the California Republican Party in 2017. And they issued a statement that In-N-Out Burger has supported lawmakers who, regardless of political affiliation, promote policies that strengthen California and allow us to continue operating within the values of providing strong pay and great benefits for our associates. In other words, hey, we don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you support policies that allow us to make a bunch of money, and I do know this, they do actually, In-N-Out Burger, they do pay better than like McDonald's. At least that's what I've been told from my friends. A lot of our kids are of working age. That's one of the places they like to work, at In-N-Out Burger, and. Anyway, I just thought that was hilarious. They were going to make a big deal about it, and then apparently they couldn't even get the Democrats not to go there. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. The all-time lowest price over spot on junk silver. Here's what we got left. I have no quarters left in Phoenix. So if you want a quarter bag of junk in Phoenix, I've got 2 quarter bags of dimes. So you get 2,500 dimes. You're only paying $15.66 an ounce. Right now, silver's $14.50, so it's $1.16 over at this exact second. I've only got 2 bags of dimes in Phoenix. In Colorado, now we're down to 4 bags of quarters and 2 bags of dimes in Colorado. So they're $2,800 a bag. That's a quarter bag. You think about it, you're at $11,200 if you bought a whole bag. So if you bought, as an example, the whole bag in Colorado, that's incredible. I mean, for 715 ounces of silver, you couldn't go wrong. But we've broken them up into quarter bags. They're $2,800 in Phoenix. We're down to just 2 quarter bags of dimes. In Colorado, we got 4 bags of quarters and 2 bags of dimes at 800-951-0592. You're not going to see it again. This was actually a unique situation where we this wasn't from a wholesaler. This wasn't that type of a deal. So this isn't something we'll see again. To buy government hallmarked silver for, essentially $1, a little over $1 over spot. It's an incredible value. I know it sucks. Everyone wants to enjoy the holiday, get ready to go out of town, but it is what it is. We want to get them all taken care of at 800-951-0592. The Dow's down today. Most people were hoping for a free trade agreement being signed with Canada. It's going to happen. It just may have to wait. Maybe it'll be this weekend. Maybe it'll be Monday. Maybe it'll be Tuesday. But it'll happen. We had a mixed bag. Lululemon. And those are like the yoga pants. They did real good. Abercrombie and Fitch did real bad. We've got this retail environment where you got the winners and the losers, and they're pretty clear. Other than that, we had a consumer confidence number. It was the lowest of the year, but people were expecting that. Other than that, not a whole lot of economic data was out today. Like I said, the biggest news had to be the emerging markets again. And these are part of the unintended consequences of mispricing debt. And this is what happens. And these central bankers come out and act like, what? We didn't do that. It wasn't us. It's always them. Yesterday we talked about how they took away our pensions and gave us a 401k instead, and are acting like they did you a favor. right? And you got the mainstream media in their pocket. On Tuesday, we're going to have another big show talking about how the central bank likes to act like they're the ones helping us when they're the ones that are actually robbing us. So let's tune in Tuesday. Remember, we'll be back on Tuesday. Patriot Radio News Hour. Everybody have a great weekend. Take care. God bless everybody. God bless America. And we'll be back on Tuesday.